I want to start this video with a quote by Neville Goddard. Today, there's so much said about masters, elder brothers, adepts, and initiates that numberless truth seekers are being constantly misled by seeking these false lights. For a price, most of these pseudo-teachers offer the students initiation into the mysteries, promising them guidance and direction. Man's weakness for leaders, as well as his worship of idols, "Can I get to make a little higher?" makes him an easy prey of these schools and teachers. Good will come to most of these enrolled students. They will discover, after years of awaiting and sacrificing, that they were following a mirage. While this is kind of a positive outlook on suffering, I actually want to talk about red flags in therapists and coaches.
Hey, aren't you, like, a coach yourself?
Thank you, manifested monster out of my conscientious thoughts of my subconscious mind. Yes, I am. And this is exactly why I want to talk about it. You always should reflect if the one you're working with is beneficial for you. For example, I can't be the right coach for everyone, because if I would be, I wouldn't be the right one for anyone. This is actually the first red flag. If someone says to you, "I am the only one who can help you." And I know you will say this is obviously manipulative, but this is a sentence someone said to me. And we're coming right to the second red flag. I want to talk about my 1 year experience with a coach. So this is a video where I talk about my subjective experience. This is not a coaching situation. If you're in a situation where the coach is talking about third parties, bringing in family members, friends in their stories, this is super unprofessional. You can share experiences without getting personal. The coaching session should always be about you, about inspiring you to find your own way and own truth, not someone putting an ideology on you. This is super important. You see it if you have an eye level setting, and if you have a safe space to experience your different emotions. For example, if a coach is like someone who puts oil in fire when you share something, he's connecting over traumatic things, and this is a sign that he still have grudges of their own past. You see, in life we always constantly evolving, and I don't want to call out people like, oh, you still have to work on yourself. We always do. But in a situation where you're paying someone money or where you need guidance and searching for help, it should be at least at a level where it's not harmful for you. So you see, my coach was not only my coach, he was also my NLP teacher. NLP is short for neuro-linguistic programming. It is a psychological approach that studies how language, behavior, and thought patterns interfere with each other. It is an approach to improve your communication skills, to reach goals and change habits. So, one pillar of NLP is that every being has their own conception and perspective on things. You see, we're living in a society, we have common ground. For example, 5 people saw an incident and their stories add up. But what NLP wants to express there is, for example, someone got bullied in middle school. 15 years later, he meets his bully. The bully is super nice, reminiscing positively about the past and inviting him for coffee. While the bullied one is like, what the fuck? And for him, this bullying experience changed his whole life, changed the way he approached life, his behavior patterns, everything. While the bully forgot about the whole incident. So why is this? Neurologically and evolutionally wise, we hold on to negative memories so that we shield ourselves for future harm, that things like that happen again. So due to the fact that my teacher taught me that we have different perspectives, he still said things to me like, Marlene, I was worse as you. And he always would tell me about my narcissistic patterns. You see, I don't want to play the victim here. I know that I had narcissistic patterns. I know that I was a pain in the ass. For example, we had a seminar and he showed us physical interruption for anxiety. And I stood up in front of the whole group, made a wheelchair and said, still having anxiety. I was disrespectful, I provoked him in front of a group, and he just stand there being cool. But due to the fact I still not approving of his methods, that you can imagine how our conversations went. It was like, I would say, the sky is blue, and he would say, the sky is green. And I would say, no, the sky is blue. And he would say, Marlene, you always have to be right. And I said, why can't we have different opinions on this matter? And he was like, we're not talking about ice cream. And he wanted to express that it's about his ideology again. And it was always clear, if he has a certain opinion on things, he's right and I'm wrong. And you see, I can imagine that someone would question, why did you work with him? Why did you not leave when you realized that something was off? Well, we come to the second part of my video, cults. In 1978, Ian Hayworth just wanted to quit. He just wanted to quit smoking. And so he saw an ad in the newspaper of the Mind Development Institution Ltd. And they advertised about a course of quitting smoking. So it was in a small motel, and he went there Thursday, Friday night, whole Saturday, whole Sunday. And by the end of the course, he committed his life to this institution, gave them all his money, and resigned from his job. So this arises the question, okay, this was just one weekend. How fast can a human be manipulated in things like that? And I want to quote Ian on that. The average, normal, healthy person has broken down and completely controlled in a matter of 3 or 4 days. If you're interested about this source, it's from the video on YouTube. Former cult member rates 11 cult scenes from movies and TV. I know. You see, I didn't like the coach I work with. From the very beginning, I realized he's super cocky, he's full of himself, but he was so good in manipulating me and triggering me in working with him. One time I asked him what he's doing by reprogramming me. And he said, Marlene, if a handyman comes into your house, you don't question his ways. Well, you obviously have never met my dad. But you see, he even would say, if he would see this video, and he don't understand English, so, but if he would understand, he would say that everything I'm saying right now never happened. And he gaslighted me all the time. And while I'm aware of the NLP pillar of own perception, which means it goes as far as you filter reality through your experiences, there's one thing that is way more important, and I want you to look out for this. And this is your gut feeling. Your feeling that something is off, you know? And while he has this method of making people cry once a week or being, it was my experience. It's not the same for everyone, but he was provocative with everyone I know who worked with him. I was in those seminars, I met more people. I know about his work, about his ways. And, you know, I believe that everyone has narcissistic patterns. It becomes pathologically if someone is unable to apologize, to reflect on themselves, and can never admit that he did something wrong, for example. But you see, I believe that these narcissistic patterns that involve in us are like a shield so that we don't get hurt. That means I want to create a place where people can reflect on themselves, where I maybe have a different perspective and can give impulses and ideas so that the person can go deeper behind their own patterns, behind reliving relationships over and over again just with different people, so that someone would say, hey, maybe you should look there and there. So I'm not here to killing the reputation of this man I worked with, because it doesn't matter. If I'm calling him out, there are 100,000 of those people around every corner. What I want to do with this is that for every empath, for every sensible person, for everyone who really wants to work on themselves, that you take care and look out for those things that feels off. And you see, I still believe that he had good intentions, you know? Another pillar of NLP is that everyone has good intentions. And I hear you, what, a murderer? Yeah, it's not, you see, it's an approach of understanding the most fucked up minds and to reframe your experience. It's not about saying that abuse is good in any kind of way, or that what happened to you, what was abusive, is okay. It is about understanding. Like the rapist, deep down, he just wants to have love. But you see, he don't have the right possibilities to express it and goes this measure. As I say, this is insane. But this guy who worked with me, I really believe he wanted to help me. But you see, it got worse and worse, and so I searched for different kind of help. And I told him, and he got really pissed. And he wanted to end our Zoom call really fast. So I said, I'm afraid. And he said, you are not afraid. You just want to destroy me. And you see, as I repeat myself, he would say this never happened. Well, this was my experience with it. And I often get the question if I regret it. I had mixed feelings about this, but I'm making this video right now, and I think this is something positive, because I met so many people who are afraid of speaking up, speaking about those things. And if there is just one person out there who sees this and feel encouraged to leave something toxic or in cult or something, I'm glad. And the other thing is, you know, I changed. People often say people don't change, but I made like a 180. And if I would meet him again, I know all his manipulative techniques. First, I would apologize for my behavior, because yes, I was provocative, I was defensive. But if he would talk about his work, I would just say, hey, we have different approaches of working with people, and we are not on the same page. And I know, I could imagine how he would play it around, and I just wouldn't go for it, and it would be okay, because deep down I still believe that he have good intentions, that there are maybe people he really helped. Could be a possibility, we are just not an energetic match, and let it be. And you see, in the end of the things, cults, whatever, they always have follower, and it doesn't matter. It only matters what you feel, and if you feel uncomfortable and bad, then leave it.